So welcome back to the channel, guys. It's almost 12 right now, and I just took a bus, that is the Expo Rider bus, which I got from the Expo Mobility Gate. Now I have just reached Abu Dhabi. It was around 1.5 hour ride, and I'm just trying to get towards the Sheikh Zayed Grand Mosque, which is the biggest museum in UAE, which is fairly in Abu Dhabi. So right now it's almost like 33 degrees Celsius. It's pretty hot, and I'm also wearing a denim jacket right now. So first, the goal is to complete the Sheikh Zayed Mosque. Once I do the Sheikh Zayed Grand Mosque, I'll be heading towards the Louvre, which is in Abu Dhabi, which is a beautiful museum again. And in case if I have enough time, I'll also try to cover the Presidential Palace. So let's see how the day goes and how it is going on. So for now, I'll be taking a bus, which is bus number 94, to get me to the Sheikh Zayed Mosque. Stay tuned. So there's been a slight change in plans. Apparently, the distance from the bus was showing more than an hour, that is 50 to 58 minutes, and it was a very, very long route. And apparently, since being here in UAE, I have realized that it's a city which is better explored if you actually have a car or you're using a taxi. That's the best way of actually exploring it. So apparently, I opted for the taxi options, that is through Kareem, and it just showed me the closest route of 15 minutes. Hence, I'm just heading. It's the fare is across around 45 to 50 dirhams, something like that. And the best part is I'll be reaching there in about 15 minutes or so. यहाँ पे वेदर 33 डिग्रीज जैसा तो बिल्कुल भी नहीं है, मतलब उससे तो बहुत ही ज़्यादा लग रहा है यहाँ पे। हाँ जी, मेरे कार्ड की शो कर रहे हैं ये अभी टेम्परेचर ऊपर गया है, ये 46 तक है। 46, ओह माय गुडनेस। वही मैं बोला, क्योंकि 33 डिग्रीज तो चिल होता है। मैं दुबई में हूँ इतने टाइम से, तो वहाँ पे तो मतलब नॉर्मल लगता है। ये 46 दिखा रहा है आपके कार में? हाँ, ये 46 दिखा रहा है। मुझे आज खुद पहली दफ़ा फील हुआ। मैं तो बाहर खड़ा था। मैं ये बंद रखता हूँ अपने दोनों साइड। अच्छा, लेकिन मुझे थोड़ा सा खोलना पड़ा मुझे इस साइड से। अच्छा, थोड़ा स्वेटिंग होना शुरू हो गई। मैंने तो ये भी सुना है कि यहाँ पे टेम्परेचर कभी कभी 55 तक भी जाता है, बट वो सिर्फ डिस्प्ले नहीं करता, ऐसा कुछ भी है। हाँ, हो जाता है। ऐसा है? वाह। Alright, so what you see behind me is the Sheikh Zayed Grand Mosque. So this is the first photo stop that we have stopped in around the mosque. We've just entered. So the entrance to the mall usually requires you to go through mall area in case if you are not appropriately dressed and so on and so forth. So however, this is what the current scenes looks like. So what you guys see here is basically called the modern inlay work. So what you actually see here is basically the different kind of semi-precious stones which are actually aligned together, and it's an Italian way of techniques. The pillars are basically, there are a total of 1096 columns across the mosque. So what you also see right here, these are basically the lights. Now the lighting here is always said to be different. It depends upon how exactly the phases of the moon is. So if it's a full moon, it will be a different color. It will be a half moon, it will be a different color. So when you actually look at the pictures of the Sheikh Zayed Mosque at night, it will always be very, very different every time. Look it up. So now we are at the north entrance. Now the flowers that you see here are made from different marbles. At the same time, the chandelier that you see, this weighs about 1.5 tons, which also is said to depict the garden. Another thing about the chandelier is that the tour guide tells us that this is the smallest of the chandeliers that you will find across in the Sheikh Zayed Mosque. So let's check it out. So every design is so beautiful, and the designs are basically set to depict a garden. This is basically the north entrance. So north entrance and the flowers that you see here are specifically the flowers that grow in the northern hemisphere. So at the south entrance, the flowers that you will see are mostly the flowers which are grown in the southern hemisphere. So right now we are inside the prayer hall. So what you see here, the carpet is basically the world's largest carpet in the world, and this carpet is also mentioned in the Guinness Book of World Records. The carpet was basically made in Persia, and it was made all in one piece. Also at the same time, when you look very closely, you will see lines here. So these lines basically depict how Muslims always pray together when they are praying. So how they had to get it is that they could not cut it. So what they did is they shaved this part, one part of it, and then they shaved the other part. So the thickness that you see here, the line that you can see, is actually the true original thickness of the carpet. At the same time, you will see very beautiful 3 chandeliers up there. So these chandeliers weigh around 8 tons each, and they are made out of gold, stainless steel and glass at the same time. And there are literally 3 of them. Alright, so right now this is me at the Sheikh Zayed Grand Mosque. Apparently this is the second time that I'm actually shooting again. The reason behind that is that you're not supposed to show any hand signs when you're actually taking pictures or recording any videos, apparently. So let me just give you a quick brief. What you see behind me are this one big tomb, and then there are a lot of small other tombs. I got to know that is somehow inspired from India, specifically from the Taj Mahal. Apart from that, the tops, the minarets that you see on top of the tomb is basically made out of gold. It's basically made out of gold, and at the same time, what you see in the top minarets behind me is you will see certain shelves, certain entrances where you can actually come out and just have a view. So the main idea behind that is that in 2022 there is definitely an option of microphone and different other devices, but back in the days when people had to actually call out people, for prayers, that mics and everything wasn't really an option. So the only option that was left at that time was people went out, the priest or the Maulana used to step out, and then he used to call out everyone about to come and join in for the prayers. So that's the whole idea of it. In total, the pillars that you see around me are basically called the columns. So it's a total of 1096 pillars around me. So that's more like it. That's more like it. That's it.